Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to show you the team I'm going to use for this journey event. This is a tricky one, because we have a very narrow troop restriction. Not many troops to pick from, but you must have the event captain slithering in your team, has ×2 magic, and it gives ×2/3 score at the same time, making that absolutely essential for your team. Right, so first things first, pop to the shop, make sure you grab that slippery sucker by grabbing at least tier 1 and 2. This gives you a slithering guaranteed, as well as the potion of enchantment courtesy of tier 1. So we need that, we get one of them. At tier 3 you can pick up the serpent's tooth as well, an okay weapon, dealing magic based damage to an enemy, boosted by brown allies and Naga allies. And you can pick up more slithering along the way. Also, for this team, I'm going to use the Doomed Spade and 3 times Slithering. I'll show you alternatives to this if you don't have the weapon or can't use 3 times Slithering. But this is a really good way to go with this because the Doomed Spade does damage to the first 2 enemies with a +2 per tempering level boost, then creates 2 brown gems for each brown ally and enemy. So if you've got 4 brown allies, you're going to create 8 brown gems, then 2 more for every brown enemy. So if, for example, there was a whole team of brown enemies at the same time, that's going to create 16 brown gems. That is like better than Charleston-y sort of amounts before she got nerfed. So really good if that happens. And even if you get like 3 brown enemies, you're still going to create like 14 brown gems, which is still really good and gives it a high chance of working. And the reason why it's good as well is because even if it doesn't self-charge, with the potion of enchantment, these will be ready to cast soon anyway. And because they create even more brown gems on the ones that are already there, you can get a little bit of a loop going and still finish the enemy off pretty quickly. Because remember, these get extra magic as well. These get doubled magic, being effectively the the event captain. So a really good way to go with this, because it's important to loop as much as possible in journey events, because if you get the fight done in 10 rounds or less, that's how you keep the maximum miles. And 1 turn is your turn, including all extra turns. The enemies go, then back to you. That's 1 complete turn. So basically, if you get as loopy a team as possible, you give ourselves the best chance. But what if you don't have the Doomed Spade? What are other decent options? Black Manacles is not too shabby. 20% chance to devour a random enemy at the same time as you cast that. It means if you get lucky, you can absolutely just steam through the enemy. It's pretty cool. What else we got? Bone Scraper just sounds like a painful way to go through a turnstile. And what else is there? Earth's Fury. Things like Earth's Fury and Mang. Both very good options. Explain why on Mang in just a second, because that is my preferred one. Oh, the Cobra's Curse. Where was it? I think I just saw one a minute ago. Should have mentioned. Another good one. Damage to an enemy boosted by Naga allies. That's the whole team again. Then create a mix of red and green for each Naga. The red is wasted, but all the green will feed into literally the entire team, because they all use green and brown. Life and Death should be coming across that in a minute. That's not a bad way to go. If you get lucky with that death mark, obviously, you can make short work of the opposition. At the same time, on the later levels, when the enemy gets really tough with the really high armor, then Mang is a pretty decent way to go. You can eliminate all that armor in one go, and then boost up your attack at the same time, meaning the skulls that come along could be absolutely deadly. If you're a really low player and don't have many decent weapons, then Mounting Crusher is such a good choice still. It's just such a good weapon. Explodes magic-based brown gems, has a chance of an extra turn at the same time, and has dust. This creates a dust storm when you cast it, and that is going to really help the way that the team works. So a very good choice as well, Mounting Crusher. And there's other ones as well, like Obsidian Libram is not too shabby. But yeah, so lots of different options there, but I'm going to go with a Doomed Spade. Regarding other possibilities, if you have, what's her face? I mean, this is it. This is like 13 troops. That's including the one we just got today as well, with Snake. I did think at first that'd be a good way to go about it, because basically she'll do that damage to the enemies and poison them, and if she changes to a basilisk, I thought that could be a good thing, because basically that still uses brown, that troop, and does an awful lot of true damage, but it's not a Naga, which is then going to basically mess up slithering the way that casts. So it turns out that that weird snake was not actually such a good choice after all. But Salamandria, if you have her, would be a good choice. Exploding all burning gems, that's exploding red gems. Dealing true damage to the first two enemies, boosted by the burning gems destroyed. So yeah, she's certainly a good choice. If you can have one or two of her in place of the extra Slytherins, then that would be a good way to go. So if you've got two of them, or one of them, then stick them in place of a Slytherin. But apart from that, there is seriously not a very good amount of choice at all. So many of these troops just do a low amount of damage, or they give life, or something like that. And they give life without any chance of, you know, an extra turn, or their spell has no chance of an extra turn. It's crazy. So yes, it's like low amount of damage really. Again, yeah, this is literally the choice. It's like it's terrible. It's one of the worst sets of choices I think we've ever had in an event. So yeah, basically 3 times slithering if you can. If you can only afford one of them, chuck in a Salamandria if you have that, and then anybody else basically like that does some damage. But yeah, it's going to be a tricky one this. But like I say, with the correct team and class, we do actually give ourselves a chance, and the class is really important for this. Assassin, if you're lucky, can get things done really, really quickly. The traits, particularly the third one, Assassinate. 10% chance to assassinate the last enemy when I deal skull damage. So if there's not any brown or green, you can take a skull hit, take a skull match rather. And if you get lucky, you're going to just kill off that last enemy absolutely straight away. But things can get better than that in Assassin class, because you also have the awesome Rising Shadows if you have this on level 100. A 7% chance to assassinate the last enemy when another enemy dies, and that's on top of that 10% chance to assassinate the enemy with that skull damage. So it's possible you could get a single skull hit, kill the last enemy, and then Rising Shadows comes in and kills someone else straight away. And if you get lucky with Swift Curse, you can kill someone else straight away. You could have 3 enemies dead immediately on a single skull hit. It can happen. It's very possible. And you can have Stealthy as well, Backup, stuff like Shadow's Call, Shadow Scales, and Hunt. Hunt helping out with the damage from the skulls, of course. But if you find things tricky, then definitely switch to Elementalist class. You are going to lose some looping potential from the Doom Spade, because you're no longer a Naga. But the safety you get from Elementalist class is absolutely huge. Stun, freeze, burn, entangle a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems means with that top troop entangled, you're going to be safe from any potential skull damage from the enemy. Impact is always good. You can have Insulated, Stone Circle, a bit more armor for your brown allies. Storm Aura, create a dust storm at the start of battle, really good. Rock Solid, get a barrier when matching brown, again, really good. We're getting brown all the time. More bonus brown from brown matches, and Fortitude. So if surviving is your key rather than trying to get maximum miles all the time, if it wasn't working out for you and you just want to survive, then definitely switch to Elementalist class. But for the Assassin one, we'll have +2 brown, +1 green, -1 red Hive banner. Let's go to this one here. So we got like 2 brown enemies here. This is going to help us out. Let's get our slippery friend up. There you go, look at that. That was instant death thing. Rising Shadows just coming into play there. Really cool. Let's give that thing a wallop. Let's charged up our top weapon. And the job's done. Jump forward to the hard levels in just a moment. 90 miles travelled. Let's do this first boss here. So no brown enemies this time, so we're not getting much of a boost from that at all. We'll take that away. That is a nice little bonus or 4. Being mean on the brown. Probably take it this way. Gets our last 2 troops up straight away. Plus we get the brown at the same time. Don't care about that. Does that come out of it? It did loop. Maximum miles. 225. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's kind of the best that we can do, really. It's kind of like, you know, for want of a better phrase, trying to polish a turd. It's like, it's only so much you can do with it. Because we've been given what we've been given. Ah, look at the awesome lack of brown we got at the same time. But might as well take skull hits, because when you get the skull hits, you got that chance of that instant kill at the same time. And on the early stages, if they just like died, yeah. So that was easily under 10, obviously. Onwards and upwards. One brown enemy there. Had a kite. He had a kite, but there was a big gust of wind, and it took it out of his hands, and he's still trying to find a new one. Right, so let's get this brown, because we are pretty much good to go on that. Which is 10. There we go. 2 enemies dead. And that will finish them off. Right, let's do this. Angry bear. This is going to be a lot of bears. This is where it gets fun as well. Look, we've got 3 brown enemies here. So this is going to be really, really good for this weapon. This is where this weapon is going to start coming into its own. We want to get that thing charged as fast as we can. Have we got any green? Have we got any brown? Oh, we've got both. Fantastic. Still look out for this kind of drop though for extra turns, things like that. You don't know when you're going to get like a random skull hit and things like that, where you can just kill one of the enemies absolutely straight away, which is really nice if that 10% assassination chance comes in. But let's get this brown going. There's not a lot of brown on the board, and I don't want to waste this. So I'm going to cast this first, get that extra bonus damage. Lots of brown on the board gives this now a much better chance of working. Boost is like plus 14, look really cool. Self-charged, bang, do it again, bang, and again, done. Lovely stuff. In case you missed it at the beginning, a turn is basically your go, including all extra turns. The enemies go and then back to you. That is one complete turn. And if you complete the battle in 10 turns or less, that is when you get the maximum miles. That's why creating a team is as loopy as possible is really important with this event. Ooh, rubbish on our colours. Take this just in case we get a random drop of a skull or something. Right, let's make some brown. Let's get rid of Mab, or give her a little softener at least. That generated quite a bit of mana. We would be ready next turn again. There we go, and that's that skull hit coming into play, getting that assassinate as well. Really cool. So I don't think it's, like I said at the beginning, I don't think it's as bad as what it first appears. Right, let's just do a couple more. Like I say, if you start struggling, you find it start getting tough, starting to get hit by skulls and stuff like that, and your top troop gets in danger, you can switch to Elementalist class. Absolutely make you a lot safer. Let's get some green. Not a huge amount there, but let's see if we can get this dicky bird sorted out. Didn't get extra turn, but it did get self-charged. Oh wow, that was unlucky. You've got that amount of brown we generated then, but didn't get an extra what's it. This is the cool thing about this. All the brown that's left there basically gives it a much better chance of working next time. Alright, let's make this the last one. Show the 75 miles fight on 3,660 miles so far. 2 brown enemies here. Do you like to try and leave the brown enemies till last when I cast the slippery one? Because if you leave the brown enemies there, basically you got a better chance of looping. Right, let's grab some of that brownie stuff. That's going to bring our green closer at the same time, but I do like to leave them there if I can. Just think the enemy might pinch them, so I'm going to take them first. Right, I'm going to grab the green wallets there. Stick some more brown up on the board if not many more appear. But there's a fair amount there. Let's go for it with this. Did get the extra turn. Quite a lot of brown there now. This gives us a better chance of looping as well. Let's give him a punch in the chops. Loads of brown. Very good indeed. This is going to be... No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. There we go. Pretty much plain sailing now. We can cast these back to back. That double magic from the... effectively the event captain, making short work of the last troop. So there it is. There's the team I'm going to use for this. If you enjoyed this video, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and feel free to share the video amongst other Gems of War players, your guild mates, things like that. It really helps out the channel and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.